Hello, Sama here. Why do you see people's holes? I mean, why we don't see the holes in people's, or why we don't see the people's gaps between their atoms? We know that atoms are, for the most part, empty spaces. An atom nucleus is made of protons and neutrons, and electrons are bouncing around it like in solar system. The nucleus itself is 10 to 5 times smaller than the entire atom. And that would make the atom to be made of 99.9999999% empty space. So why we do see people solid, not empty space? For example, I see this hydrogen atom. It's made of one proton and one electron. Now let's think of a football stadium, and if we scale this up, at the center would be the nucleus, and the electrons would be around the stadium. All of these spaces are empty, and yet we don't see people like this. We see them solid, without lots of gaps in them. So think about a ruler. A ruler that is been graded to 1 millimeter. So this gap is 1 millimeter. With this ruler, we won't be able to measure something that is 1/10 of a millimeter. So 1 millimeter is the maximum precision we can get with this ruler. Every measuring device has their own precision, the maximum precision or the minimum length that they can detect. Now the same applies to our eyes. It's like cameras, and they have certain precision. So cameras have a grid of pixels, basically a type of material that is called photodetectors. So that is what defines the resolution of a picture that gets captured by a camera. The number of these pixels, the density of these pixels, determines what the resolution or the sharpness of the image we get from it. The more pixels, the more denser this photodetector sheet is, the more sharper image we would get eventually. And that is because the smaller the dimensions of these pixels, the smaller they are, the more sensitive this camera is going to be to smaller distances. And therefore, it will capture sharper images or smaller lengths. The same applies to our eyes. So our eyes is like camera too. The light gets reflected back from people's body and it enters our eyes. So that's the light, and then goes to our eyes and gets detected by these photoreceptors at the retina, which is like photodetectors on a regular camera. The density of these photoreceptors is crucial for the resolution of our eyes. There is a metric called visual acuity to measure a person's eyes resolution or distinguish the 2 points as separate. Based on that, for a person who has a vision of 20 out of 20 in a distance of 6 meters, they can identify 0.3 millimeter gap. That is way larger than 10 to the minus 15 of meter gap that exists between the nucleus and the end of an atom. That's why we don't see people gappy like this. Instead, we see them as solid objects. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for future videos. Bye.